Hello, my name is Evan. Assuming that would end global hunger, would you fillet another man?
Dare I ask him to repeat? Well, actually, so I do have an answer to this.
All right, I actually think it is better that the Yale answer this.
You know, there's a line in American Psycho about that Yale thing. I think that's what our questioner is alluding to. Like a typical left-wing undergraduate, you are engaging in consequentialist ethics. You are attempting to justify flagrantly immoral behavior to achieve a good end. And I tell you, my friend, the ends do not justify the means. Absolutely. Absolutely not.
I am curious with that young fellow, if it would solve world hunger, would you vote for Donald Trump?
All right, guys, so happy Easter Sunday to you and everybody who celebrates the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. I hope you guys are spending all the time that you can with your friends and family on this day. And I'm going to do the same thing, right? But as some of you guys know, I literally never stop working, right? So it's a blessing and a curse, but I definitely will be doing the same today as well. But we got to talk about Ted Cruz. As Ted Cruz, as a part of his podcast series called Verdict, held an event at Yale University. Now, thank God that the woke mob did not come out to Ted Cruz and cause a ruckus like they've been doing all across the country at these other universities where conservatives show up and they speak, and for whatever reason, these people simply can't handle it and they go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs insane, right? That did not seem to happen at this event featuring Ted Cruz, Michael Knowles, and Liz Wheeler, okay? This almost seems to be an anomaly going on here. So with that being said, Ted Cruz was confronted by a woke student who had an issue with his questioning of Miss Ketanji Brown Jackson, who has just been confirmed to the Supreme Court, okay? And her issue with Ted Cruz is that she thinks that his questioning of her was racist, right? So she asked Ted Cruz about this, and Ted Cruz gave the absolute perfect response to this question. And I gotta talk about it because, again, he was just hitting on all cylinders with his response to this question. So before we get in that, I just want to let you guys know that if you like my channel, you want to support my channel, you can do so using the links in the description below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the PayPal, you can support the merch. There are multiple ways to support the channel if you would like to do so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this clip of Ted Cruz absolutely crushing this Yale student when asked about his racist questioning of Miss Ketanji Brown Jackson. Take a look.
On Tuesday, it baffled me that you would ask such flagrantly racist questions to this exceedingly well-qualified candidate. Your colleagues in the GOP promised a respectful and dignified hearing for Justice Jackson, and to me, you did not uphold this.
When it comes to issues of race, I think both the press and the modern left are hypocritical on this question. That they only define someone as black, or they only define someone as Hispanic, if they agree with them ideologically. Everyone who was harumphing in the media that if you oppose an African-American woman who's a qualified judge, you're a racist, precisely zero of them thought it was racist for Democrats, including Joe Biden, to filibuster Janice Rogers Brown. Now, I'm going to suggest to you, if you oppose somebody because of their race, that is the definition of racist. And look, I'll point out in your question, you said that my questioning of Judge Jackson was you used the term racist. Listen, racism is a horrific evil in this country. It is also an insult that the left tosses around casually. I would welcome, if you look at the questions I asked Judge Jackson, every single question I asked her concerned her record. Either her record as a judge, sentencing defendants before her, or her record writing academic materials and law reviews, or her record giving speeches to law schools. All of that is the job of the Senate in the advice and consent process. And so, respectfully, I could not disagree more deeply when you say it is racist to examine a judge based on their record. If the Democrats wanted to oppose Janice Rogers Brown because they oppose conservatives, do you think the Democrats were all sexist when they voted party line against Amy Coney Barrett? I'm willing to bet you don't, because she's not a liberal woman. So you can't have it both ways, which is that when a Democratic nominee has a certain characteristic, anyone who opposes them is racist or sexist or what have you. But when a Republican nominee has those characteristics, it's open season and you can go after them full force, and the left is righteous in doing so. The standard should be the same, and I'm going to suggest what the standard should be, is we should examine people based on their actual record and whether and to what extent that record demonstrates they will defend the constitutional rights of all Americans. I think that's what people care about.
Yeah, Ted Cruz was firing on all cylinders in the answer to that question, right? I cannot think of a better response to that question than what Ted Cruz just gave to that student, okay? Because the student is assuming that Ted Cruz questioning Ms. Ketanji Brown Jackson is racist simply because she's black and she's liberal. Even though I'd be willing to bet my life savings that she could not name one question that Ted Cruz asked that was either racist or had anything to do with race at all. I bet she couldn't name it, okay? But see, she believes, because she's brainwashed, that by definition, because Ted Cruz dared to question a black liberal woman, he must be a racist, sexist bigot, right? That's literally what she believes. And that is what the Democrat Party does. Anytime any one of their so-called minority members of their party get criticized, the first thing Democrats do is want to label that person a racist or a sexist, okay? But Republicans, on the other hand, they don't get the same benefit of the doubt, right? When Democrats criticize so-called minorities in the Republican Party, it's open season, right? They're doing it because, hey, it's politics, and that, hey, they just disagree with them. For example, look at Clarence Thomas. These are the same people, Democrats, that literally just said that any criticism of Ketanji Brown Jackson, even if it's of her record, her job, okay, oh, no, that's racist. But these are the same people that are criticizing Clarence Thomas right now, okay? These are the same people that are calling for this man to be removed from the Supreme Court, for him to resign, okay? Because his wife has a political opinion, right? And apparently he's too close to his wife. He loves his wife too much. So therefore, he has to resign. And according to the standard that the Democrats just set, that criticizing somebody that's a so-called minority is racist, how is their criticism of Clarence Thomas not racist? Why is the mainstream liberal media not coming out and saying, no, Democrats out here criticizing Clarence Thomas are racist? Anybody criticizing Clarence Thomas is racist. Well, again, the reason why is because you're not actually really black unless you're liberal, right? Unless you're Democrat. If you're not Democrat, if you're not liberal, then you ain't black, right? Or you're not a so-called minority. And the sad part about this is that that's not even something that just white liberals believe and say, right? That's something that Democrats have convinced black liberals of as well, too. Because black liberals are some of the main people out here basically trying to strip Clarence Thomas of his blackness because of his political beliefs. In Amy Coney Barrett's case, you're not a woman because, you don't agree with abortion, right? You're not a woman. That's what they tried to say about Amy Coney Barrett. You're not a real woman because you don't agree with us politically, okay? And the crazy part about all this is that Republicans still get accused of this stuff, even though their criticisms of Ms. Ketanji Brown Jackson always were in the realm of her job and her judicial record. But Democrats don't have that same standard for themselves. I mean, look at how they treated Brett Kavanaugh and the type of questions and criticism this guy got. Okay, they basically tried to accuse the guy of gang rape or insinuated that he may have been involved in that in some way, right? They looked through this guy's yearbook to ask him about what drinking games he was a part of.
Drinking game.
How's it played?
3 glasses in a triangle.
And?
You ever played quarters?
No.
Okay, it's a quarters game.
Ann Doherty's?
As you can tell from my calendar, she had a party on the 4th of July in
Okay, they asked him questions that had nothing to do with his judicial record whatsoever. In fact, there was a protest. Liberals stormed the Capitol over all these things that had nothing to do with his judicial record. Okay? That's what they did. That's what they did. But, oh no, that's fair game. But if a Republican, though, dares question a liberal black woman on her record regarding sentencing for CP offenders, oh God, that's the worst thing in the world. Not only you're racist and you're sexist, but you're also trying to get her killed. You're trying to get her killed, right? That is what some liberal pundits were going on TV and saying. Again, I just find it amazing how this works. None of these people were outraged, like Ted Cruz was saying, when the Republicans under George Bush were basically considering putting a black woman on the Supreme Court. And Joe Biden comes out and basically says, no, if they nominate a black woman to be on the Supreme Court, then we're going to filibuster. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen simply because she's a black woman. We don't want the Republicans to be able to say they put a black woman on the Supreme Court, especially after they put Clarence Thomas on the Supreme Court, right? How is that not racist? How is it not racist when some of these people, these Democrats, they come out here and they criticize Tim Scott, okay? You have all these racial insults from the left being thrown at Tim Scott when Tim Scott doesn't agree with the Democrat Party, when he doesn't agree with a liberal policy. Again, it's open season on any conservative minorities that don't agree with the Democrat Party. You can say whatever you want about them, including calling them racial slurs. You can do whatever you want to them, including derail their careers just because of their skin color and their sex, like Joe Biden did with Janice Brown Rogers, right? It's open season on conservative minorities. But when it comes to liberal minorities, though, they're protected, right? Any criticism of them is racist or sexist, okay? Again, I find this to be fascinating stuff, right? I find this to be fascinating stuff. But with that being said, Ted Cruz, he was right on the money with his response. And I love Ted Cruz when he's in his peak form like this, okay, when he's hitting on all cylinders. He's been a Ted Cruz that we know he can be. And I thought his answer was perfect. And that college student from Yale, let's just say they're not letting in their best because she clearly lacks the ability to think critically. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.